Hey guys, it's Jason and Michelle, and welcome to part 3 of our trip through Vietnam. So in part 1 we talked about our time in Hanoi and coming into the country there. Part 2 we talked all about Ha Long Bay, one of our favorite parts of the entire country, and today we're going to talk about the overnight train to Hue.
No way.
Hue. We heard a variety of experiences from other people when we were researching about what they experienced on the train. So we knew we might be getting into something that was a little less luxurious than other things. But so the first thing you need to know is you need to book early. These things fill up. This is a cheap form of travel within Vietnam, so get your reservations early.
Most trains have the first class that has 4 berths, so 4 beds per room. They also have 6 berths, so 6 beds per room, and they also have just kind of a passenger car, like a normal train that you might see that's just seats.
We went ahead and booked first class on this train, and first class is relative. You will share a cabin with 3 other people, so they cram 4 beds into one cabin, and you don't fit much in there. If you have big luggage like some people, then you kind of have to really maneuver how that works in your cabin and try not to upset a bunch of the other people that you might be in the cabin with.
So, how do you book a ticket? Well, you have to use a third party, which is kind of confusing. So, they don't have an online system to buy tickets on their train stations. You have to use these third parties, and they pretty much will take your reservation and then they go down to the train station and book the train ticket for you and then send a confirmation back, which is kind of a little risky, and I didn't really care for that because I didn't really fully understand it. We will link the websites that you can kind of go to for some more information about how to do it. And it did work out very well. They were able to confirm all of our tickets and it worked out perfectly. If you are making these overnight journeys and you don't want to sit in a normal seat, you definitely want to book that ticket. We were on a very specific schedule, and so that was another incentive for us to book prior to going. Also, these third-party vendors, some of them will require you to pick up a ticket. Some of them will have digital tickets. That is definitely the way to go because you are preventing the chance of somebody scamming you.
So once you get on the train and you've found your cabin, it's alright, it's an overnight train, it's time to get comfortable and go to sleep. Well, let me just say that this is not maybe your standard train ride, and this train swayed more than anything I have ever felt in my life. We had more sway on the train than we did in Ha Long Bay. On the water, yes, thank you.
Oh, yeah.
That said, it's kind of loud. If you pop in some earplugs and a sleeping mask, hey, I went to sleep and I actually slept okay. What you have for a cot is really just a cover sheet and a basic pillow. So we brought a couple extra like scarves or something to put down, and throw a shirt or something over your pillow. You don't know how often that gets cleaned. Ours didn't seem especially unclean, but just for safety's sake. We did not have any bad experiences with any kind of rodents or anything like that. We did see some evidence of a couple of things, but we did not actually see anything that freaked us out or anything like that, so that was good. And all told, it was a night to sleep on a train. It's not going to be the best sleep that you had. You're going to be rocking back and forth. It's kind of loud, but we made it to the place that we were going.
Food and bathrooms. So outside of the train, when you first arrive, there will be tons of people harassing you to buy stuff off their food carts. So if you didn't bring anything, you may actually want to take them up on that. There is a food car on the train. It does load up with lots of people, and they have limited snacks. So just be prepared that they don't have everything. And there is a food cart that will make its way, it made its way down once in the evening for us and then back up in the morning. So I was able to get coffee in the morning, but...
Thank goodness.
I know, I'm a bear. The bathrooms actually started out looking clean, and I was pleasantly surprised that they looked clean because of some of the horror stories I'd heard. But by the time we woke up the next morning and we're getting off the train, they were just in shambles. So if you are getting on a train that has been an overnight train, be prepared that the bed sheets have been slept in and the bathrooms have been used. So it's better to know if you are starting with that train or if you're picking up somewhere in the middle of that train ride.
When it comes to actually getting off of the train, you do need to kind of have an idea of what time you're expected to be at your location. There were not announcements in English, which was one of the few places that we've been that actually did not have that. We did share our car with a Vietnamese gentleman who kind of helped us a little bit with the timetables, and there are people walking back and forth that you can ask about that. But so that is something that you definitely want to monitor maybe a little bit more than you would in a typical train.
Overall, we had a very positive experience on this train, especially considering some of the terrible blog stories that I read. We had a very easygoing time. We didn't get scammed, we didn't see any rodents, we slept okay, we got there a few minutes delayed, no big deal. We had a great time. This was like a one-time thing for us. We said we did it and we're like, okay, we're not gonna do any more of those. So we flew the rest of our time in Vietnam. Some people will take the trains everywhere, and you can read a lot of blogs about that because you can do it and it is cheaper. But depending on how much time you have, if you need to save time, flying is just as easy, takes probably less time or just the same amount of time. So you kind of have to pick and choose what works for your schedule. Overall, good experience, but I would prefer a plane. Anyways, we hope that helps you with your train ride experience. We're gonna actually talk about Hue in the next video, but this was just the train ride and everything you need to know about it. If you have any questions, put them in the comments, send us a note, and we're happy to help you any way that we can to get you from point A to point B.
And we'll see you next time. So, how did we go? How did we book tickets?
You skipped down way far.
Yeah, I did, but it made sense in my brain. It's called. How people experience